Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. I got a criminal record in March for something odd that happened to me last year in Covent Garden. As I was crossing the street, I put my hand up like this to slow down an approaching car. It was a police car. If I'd have been paying more attention, I would have just let it pass. But I didn't, and the officers jumped out, and I got stopped and searched. They suggested that I was up to no good, which could have been something to do with the fact that despite the fact that I'm a 40-year-old professional, I was wearing trainers and a hood. I got angry with them, gesticulating, voice taut, suggesting that if they hadn't have been spending their time bending the law, imagine the real criminals they could have caught. I think I even suggested in the heat of my anger that the degree of moral bankruptcy they were employing and arresting me for crossing the street meant that they were probably the kind of officers that could have been bought. They didn't like that. So 9 months later, I ended up defending myself in court. In court, the policemen lied. They blatantly took the piss. They suggested that I had stood in the middle of the street with my legs spread wide and my hand like this. The magistrates believed them, so they ended up giving me a criminal record, which means I now might never again be able to work with kids. I've been thinking about boundaries ever since. What separates you from me? The long arm of the law from the word on the street. In court, I lost on a technicality. This was the road and this was the pavement, you see. I don't know, man. Crazy. What happens when we separate life into opposites and polarities? My friend Ben Mellor, who's frequently prolific and often profound, broke it down like this when he said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society." It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. Isn't it funny where we put our emphasis these days? Sweatshop labour stitched into the pockets of our silk PJs. Labels with the GDP of nations while we struggle with inflation and our nurses are on minimum wage. We're well adjusted to the converging crises of this age. Disquiet and riots and gunmen on the rage. We're a lack of housing and affordable opportunities in rapid urban expansion. Somehow hides or covers up our love for playboys and mansions, which reflects our fascination with beauty but not the beast. As riot police keep the feast, but not all of us are invited to the feast. The kaleidoscopic maelstrom of the swirling city masses as they dance around the centrifugal forces of the pound. The multicolored missions of the silent superstitious who, propelled by motivation, help to turn the city round. We're slowly building children filled with pills and still we wonder why there's apathy, no empathy, and lunatics in the asylum. The music in our MP3s that eases seizures and diseases. We release the pieces of our broken hearts upon the streets. We're rapidly heading towards the center of a storm. A big fuck-off storm. We don't know what it's going to look like, but it's coming. And personally, I feel feel weird about that. I feel scared about it. So I've been writing for the hacktivists and cracktivists and armchair activists and blacktivists and blackistanis and big makistanis and two Pakistanis and the rucksackistanis and it's just the rucksackistanis and the oh my god, why did you have to invade Irakistanis, and is that a swastika you've got tattooed on your Pakistanis? I quite like that. Let's get Belle to do